Yo, what up? My name is Success Keeps Spittin', and I'm from Spokane, Washington. Right now, you're tuning in with Chaotic Neutral for No Haters. Woo woo!
No haters, back like we never left. Breaking down the doors in your mind like a psychopath. Run the halls screaming, hatchet wheeling, screaming decaf. Got you running circles, bet your ass to say no decaf.
What the fuck is up? Y'all, hold on, I got a little issue here with lighting. There we go. My window faces west, so I got the sun right there, but what is going on? Fucking loving it. No haters, we are back. And we got a special treat for you. We got a repeat offender, Buzzkill Odium, coming back. Haven't seen him since the first episode of season 2. So without further ado, let's get this shit rolling. Going on, brother?
Sitting here trying to figure out how this thing works, and I think I figured it out. It was better in Zoom. You could just like click on it and you're there, done.
I know it's so much more strange. I fucking hated that Zoom call. The more I looked at it afterwards, watching that old episode, it was a good episode, but I fucking hate Zoom.
Oh yeah, this seems way more better.
It is. It's definitely better. It's more streamlined. There's more tricks and triggers, and there's more shit I can do with it.
I like that.
That whole intro, that was a whole bunch of different sequences that I had going. I had one looping until I got ready because I was having technical difficulties, but I forgot to get a blind for the window until like an hour ago.
Yeah, there you go.
But it works, so yep, fucking right, we're in here. So I haven't talked to you in forever. How the fuck are you?
I'm good. Staying busy, all that kind of stuff, you know. Being creative. What have you been up to?
Same, brother. If I'm not working, I'm working on music, working on videos, doing no haters shit. I've spent the last couple of weeks pretty much neglecting everything else just to get this ready.
Oh, I understand that. Didn't you move recently? Didn't you move?
We moved a couple. That's part of the reason no haters stopped. Was
yeah.
We had the last season was season 3. We had like 3 or 4 episodes. 2 of them were on the way out. We went to Vegas. We were there for a couple of months, and then we came back as far as Colorado because my sister lived here.
Yeah.
And we stayed. It's just taken this long to get back into the game.
Yeah. I understand that. I was just curious because I got thinking about that a couple days ago. I was like, I'm pretty sure that he moved.
Yeah, we did. We were up in Vermont. You know, we were up near you or closer to you. And then,
right. I thought it was Ohio.
No, not quite, but sure, whatever. We were somewhere else.
Yeah.
So shit, we got all kinds of stuff to talk about. It's been that fucking long. You've had a lot of stuff going on. Let's start with the very basic. When last time we talked, you were still with New England Kings.
Yeah.
So what happened there? And I mean, tell everybody how that progressed into what it is now.
All it kind of was is that Casket and I have been friends for a really long time. You know, probably, I mean, if I was to put a date on it, probably 8 years, you know, something like that. And he had that thing going on, you know, with NEK. And at the time, I was all like, you know what? Like, I could see what they got going on, and I kind of want to tap into that, you know, because Kaz and I were helping each other out here and there. So it's like, why not make it official? So I just got talking to him, and then we did it. But it was in the early stages of them doing what they're doing, and it wasn't what I thought it was. You know what I mean? It was still in the early stages of developing. and I thought it was something a little bit more, and it wasn't meshing. That's all it was. And it was kind of one of those things where I wanted to go this way, but they were kind of like going that way, you know, and they were still trying to figure things out and all that kind of stuff. So I just stepped away from it, you know. And then when Tricked Out came into the picture and everything like that, he's been helping get that more organized and stuff like that. So that's really cool what they got going on. But I mean, like, it wasn't anything bad or anything like that. It was just kind of a mutual thing where you look at your friend and you're all like, yeah, this ain't working out for me, you know? And that's all it was.
Yeah,
You know, I support them still. They support me, you know, always. Because at the bare bones of it, I mean, like, we're friends. You know,
Right.
The business shit is whatever, but we're still friends. You know. But that's all that was. It wasn't anything. It wasn't a big deal or anything like that.
No, I didn't figure, you know, because I know you still talk to them, you still work with them. And,
Oh yeah,
like, they're all really good guys. I've met a lot of them. I've got Payne later on in the season.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna be on here. Yeah.
He's cool. The first time I ever met him, or I didn't meet him. I can't say that. I didn't meet him. I just had a brief interaction with him. It was at the first Lethal Weekend, and I totally thought that he was the door guy. And he was wearing a, from head to toe, he was wearing a white suit with a white hat that had spikes in it, and it was a blood stain, like a blood splattered suit. And I thought it was the coolest goddamn thing I'd ever seen. But I thought he was the door guy. And then, like, when I started seeing him rap and stuff, I was all like, oh, hey, it's the door guy from Lethal Weekend. and then I met him. And then I met him, and it was all like, oh, this dude's like really cool. You know, he's cool shit. And then I made an album cover for him. No, not an album cover. I made an ad, and I did some promo. I made some promo for him for his album, The Dawn. I think I did that when I was still with NEK, if I remember right. But yeah, but he's cool shit. He's been doing the grind mode ciphers lately. I've seen that.
Oh, nice. I haven't seen that. I've seen other shit he's been doing. He's been doing a lot of open burst shit.
Oh yeah. He's been doing that for a bit.
Yeah.
But he was. I think he was on. I think it was. I almost want to say it was a recent grind mode cipher, like within the past week, and he's on that.
Okay.
And I think Tricked Out's on that too.
Nice. Gonna have to check that shit out. Absolutely.
Well, I'm sure it will get brought up when you talk to him.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I love Payne. He's fucking awesome. I met him. Shit, when the hell did we meet him? Was it at Nails? No, already. It was one of the garage shows. One of the EWE garage shows down in Rhode Island. It's Jay's old place. And then, well, I know we had already had interaction. Maybe it was before you started coming, because that wasn't the only garage show I'd been to. You only went to the one before that with the X. But anyway, and Sweepy's right here. I can't really turn cameras or anything.
I figured that. I figured you guys would be together.
There she is. Say hi, Sweepy. Oh my god. Yeah, that's fucking bright right there. We're gonna have to. And then at Nails Fest, got to talk to him for a minute, and that was cool. Yeah, and somebody else was trying to say hi. He's down a little underneath the camera though, so.
It's really cool what they do for. That's what they're really cool what they do for Nails Fest though.
Yes, it is.
Like I remember when that was like starting. When that started, you know, and to see how it started and then what it's become. I mean, to me that's awesome. I love seeing people win, but I love seeing people win if they're friends and really good people.
Yeah.
You know, that's like the best.
The cat snuggling up against my microphone. I'm worried. He's the one that'll start eating shit.
Yeah, I mean, for sure shit is unnaturally loud purring.
But anyway, yeah, no. So I like the NEK guys. They're pretty fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
And so you went from NEK, you
No, stop eating
went
this
solo for a minute, or did you dive right into what you've got now?
I mean, once I was still kind of dabbling in what I'm doing now with NEK, which is kind of what I was gonna do. I don't really know what I was gonna do, to be honest, but and then once that whole thing didn't happen, I mean, I just kept doing what I've been doing. And then the Shirefire thing just happened because I was just all like, I need a name behind it. And I've always liked as I've gotten older, I've always liked the business side of things. Not all of it, but some of it. You know, so I was just.
But that's part of the problem. That's part of the whole. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, but if you can, if you learn how to play some of the games, makes it easier.
Oh yeah,
you know?
I can. It doesn't mean I like it.
No, I don't like it either. Some of it I don't like, but I mean, it's a necessity, you know. But I mean, I got involved in that, and I figured, why not? You know, so I brought Oddity along, and him and I are slowly kind of. He's got some stuff going on, so that's fine. But we're gonna develop him and stuff like that because I mean, that dude is talented as all fuck.
He is. He's good, and I actually talked to him too. We haven't set a date yet, but I've got him. He's lined up and he's ready to go. You know, as soon as I.
Oh, he's always ready to go. He's always ready to go.
That's that's part of what you have to be. That that's part of what makes a good artist.
To an extent, because I used to be the dude that wanted to say yes to everything, and that's not a way to be. You should be very picky and choosy about what you do.
Okay, fair enough.
I learned that.
With no haters, there's very little that I can't say that I can say no to. There's very little, but there's a few things here and there.
That's a different. But see. Yeah, but with this, I mean, being an artist and doing shows is different than being a podcast dude. You know what I mean? Like when it comes to podcasting, like you should say yes more than you say no. But as an artist who does shows and stuff, you should pick and choose what makes sense over than doing something that seems like it's a necessity.
Yeah, most definitely. So Shirefire happened, and then it bloomed, and you've had that name going for what, about a year now?
Yeah, something like that. I think it's been about a year.
You've already got one cipher out. You've got other shit under the label.
Yeah.
Including, if I can find it, it might take me just a second, including a video that I got a hold of. Actually, it's all over the place. I'm not going to pretend. I don't have any kind of a fucking monopoly on it. But let's see if we can get this to having trouble playing the video. Okay, well, I may not be able to play that. Hold on.
That's fine.
Yeah, I was having problems getting it downloaded to start with. So we'll just
it's not like it's not like it's not everywhere.
This is true. This is true. A lot of people haven't seen it, I'm sure, but
Oh, I'm sure too. But I mean, it's not like I'm not being annoying about it. It's not like I'm not throwing it in everybody's face. Like, hey,
yeah,
and I'm not even done yet.
It's everywhere. You've got at least one new promo a day for it.
Oh yeah. That ain't stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, no, and it's a killer track. I fucking love it. You know, and it's right there. It's right up there with shit like the last thing I released. What was it? Oh yeah, you know what you did.
Yeah.
It's a big fuck you to all the idiots. You know?
Yeah. Basically, it's why I wrote it. You know.
So where do you see where are you trying to take Shirefire? Do you have any kind of a plan, or are you just trying to let it see what it's gonna do?
I just let it see what it's gonna do. I have no if if I can elevate like somebody like whether it be myself or Audie or whoever, you know, if I can elevate them a little bit more than what they are, then it worked. But I mean, as far as like, you know, big plans and stuff like that, you know, I don't make them. You know, I'm not a plan kind of person really, because if you make plans and they don't turn out, you get disappointed.
Fair enough.
Well, I mean, I've had a lot of plans that didn't turn out, and I just got sick of being disappointed. So
I understand, and especially where any kind of art is concerned. I'm really big on letting it decide what it's gonna do.
right, exactly. Like it's gonna do what it's gonna do. I can push it in whatever direction, you know, but wherever it goes, it goes.
Yeah, you can't force it. If you try and force it, it's gonna turn out like shit, or it's just gonna self-destruct.
Yeah, and I mean, like, as an artist, you know, you can love every song that you do and put it out, and if it doesn't do what you want it to do, then you're gonna feel some kind of way about it. But if you just throw it out there and do the best you can at promoting it and just see what happens, that feels a lot better than hanging on to a false hope.
Most definitely. I've had several tracks I've been working on or whatever. Like, you know what you didn't start out like that. Started out
Right.
with something else and turned out
Yeah.
completely different.
Yeah, that's happened to me before with like writing songs and stuff like that. I mean, I think there was one song I'd like the cipher. My verse in the cipher technically was the first verse for a song that I had written, I think like 5 years before.
Damn.
Yeah. I still have the beat for that song and everything. But it was just the song wasn't working how I wanted it to, and it was just a verse sitting there.
Yeah,
And then
no, I get that.
and then Bars had the beat and Oddity and all them were on the track, and it was just like, you know what? Fuck it. This fits.
Yeah, no doubt. Fucking worked. But everybody else on there is absolutely beastly. You know, it was an awesome fucking track.
Oh yeah,
Still is. You know, I mean, it's there.
The cool thing is about it though is that like I had that verse sitting. That's where that came from. When Wu Guy did the chorus, did the hook of the song, that wasn't even supposed to be the hook. That was just something that he wrote for it, and it was part of a verse if I remember right, and he couldn't write the rest of it or something like that. So he went and Bars was up here visiting. Well, he did a show. He was visiting, and he recorded it right then and there. And Bars is just all like, "That's the hook. That's the hook right there. We're gonna use that." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And he whipped it up right then and there. He mixed it and everything, and he played it. And it's just like, that's it right there. And I was I think I was the last one to contribute to it, if I remember right. But I mean, that whole thing came out like not planned. It was all spontaneous. I think Matt wrote his verse like the day before. I think Oddity did his right then and there that day. I know Woo Guy did his like a day or two before that. And then the video came about. I think that took 2 weekends, I think, of recording. And Bars put it together. He mixed and mastered it, edited the video, did his shit, and there you go.
Well,
That's a perfect example of just letting things flow.
let the art decide what it wants to be.
Yeah, and it works.
Does very, very much so. Okay, so talking about tracks and shit, I remember last time we talked, you were just getting ready to start dropping Project 22.
Yeah.
Do you have anything like that planned in the future? I mean, I know you say you don't make plans, but do you have like any ideas, something or something else? You don't even have to tell us what it is, but like something new and different to, just put out there. And
It's crazy. It's crazy that this question gets brought up, and it's crazy that you worded it the way that you did, because I was literally having that conversation yesterday with my wife while I was at work. Because I do have a plan. It is going to be different, but it's going to be different but familiar. And what I mean by that is that to everybody else, it's going to be different. But to me, it's going to be familiar because it's going back to what I used to do. And it is, I can't talk about what it is or anything like that, but what I'll say is that the plan is to have a interactive art project is what it is at its core. It's still going to be music, it's still going to be hip hop, but it's going to be more than just that. And I have the framework done. It's just that it's all going to come to fruition at its own pace. But as far as I know, and this is the thing, as far as I know, this has never been done in this genre of music. What I'm going to do has never been done.
awesome. See, that's what we need, and you're one of those innovators. You bring new shit to the table.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I don't thrive to be the first guy to ever do something, but I thrive if I just do something different. I love that kind of shit.
And that's kind of what No Haters was about to begin with. You know how that all started, because at that point, nobody. Since then, since I started No Haters, it's been 5 years now.
Yeah.
It's been, there's been so many people starting podcasts just like this, or something like it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were others already out there. Don't get it wrong. I'm not saying I had the market cornered or anything, or I was the innovator or the first one to do it.
Right.
I mean, you got Shaggy's been doing it forever, doing his own thing, and you got Midwest Juggalos and whoever else.
Yeah.
But there wasn't a whole lot of that when I started, which is why I started. There was nothing digging deep into the underground and pulling people up. Just like you said, your whole point with Shirefire is, it's not even necessarily you. It's I'm trying to help other people. I'm trying to, and that was my thing. If I can get anybody else, you, Oddity, whoever, 2 or 3 more fans, I did something.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same. It's the same thing with playing a show. You're not gonna get. You go up there, you perform. If you can have one person that night, hit you up the next day, telling you, "Hey, I seen you last night" or whatever, then that's a plus. Because that's something that you didn't have when you went there. You know,
Exactly. You know?
most of the time I try to look on the bright side of things, I guess. You know, so I mean, other people will probably think of that and be like, well, no, that sucks, you know, whatever. But I look at the other side of the coin sometimes.
I mean, and I get it because, you know, if somebody recognizes you, somebody you've never met before, never seen before, just comes up to you at a show and wants to, you know, get a picture with you or something, it's like, oh shit, I got a
Yeah,
fan.
exactly. You know, you didn't even know.
Exactly. Like a lot of the people I've been right from the beginning and no haters, they were immediately like, you want to do an interview with me?
Well, yeah. Well, that's kind of how I was too, because it was just the whole thing of all like, oh, really? Are you sure? Like, okay, you know.
Fucking absolutely. And you're welcome on here anytime, brother.
I appreciate that. But yeah, that's why I reached out though, because I'm just all like, well, it's been a while. Like, should do this again because it's like I like doing stuff like this.
Yeah, me too.
It gets
You
me
know,
more
that's why I
comfortable
started.
being in front of a camera.
Yeah, it is. You know, and you can do it in the comfort of your own home, whatever. Have a drink or whatever while you're doing it.
Yeah,
Doesn't fucking
yeah.
matter. I've had some. I don't know how many of the older episodes you've seen, but some of them just turned into a smoke fest.
Oh, yeah. I've seen some of those, but those are always fun.
Just what it is.
Oh yeah, yeah. Keep it authentic.
Yeah, exactly. So what have you got going on? All right, let's go back a little bit farther. For those who haven't seen you before, who don't really know much about you, I know the story, and it's in the previous episode, but we got to go back to origin stories, at the very least for your name.
Oh, we're doing the origin story of my name again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So,
One more time.
and what's really cool is that like my memory sometimes is shit, but I'm pretty sure that this story will be the same as it was in the other video. I hope, unless I add something new. Anyway, so I started out doing solo shit, and I will not state the year, but I am old, and it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't that good of a name. I'll put it to you like that. So then, me and some friends got together. We formed a group called System Failure. Thought it'd be cool to have names after poisons. That didn't work out, but I kept the name for a bit. And then I was over at my friend Randomly Flipped's house, JT's house, who was in a group called Blurred at the time. The other member of Blurred is actually one of my best friends, and they kind of inspired me to get into music, but that's a different story. But it was funny because Randomly Flip would always look at me while I'd be talking and be like, "Man, you're such a buzzkill." Because like they would always say something, and then to be funny, I would always say something back that just ruined their high. You know, they would have something. It could be something as stupid back then because I was a teenager back then. Something like, oh, I just I've been talking to this girl and blah blah blah. Well, yeah, then you're talking to her and her boyfriend's like sitting right next to her and laughing about it. Oh, dude, you're such a buzzkill, shit like that. So anyway, that's how my name came about because I was just all like, well, why not? Because it's part of my personality, might as well, right? And plus, it was given to me from a friend who inspired me to do music, so why not? So then I rolled with that for years, and then when I started back into my solo shit, I realized that I needed to add more to my name because there's other artists with that name, there's songs, bands, all that kind of stuff. So I needed something different. So I was trying to think of like a last name kind of deal, and then my wife sent me the Odium and all that, and then it was just all like, yeah, yes, because the definition of it and stuff like that is kind of like how I've felt about some stuff like society and stuff like that. So it was just kind of funny how I have a stage name that applies to me personally, which I think you should have in art anyway. So that's where it came from. My first name came from a good friend of mine who described to me my personality, and then my second name came from my wife, who found a word that I just happened to agree with to a certain point. So
That's perfect.
nothing immaculate or anything. It's just, friends and wives.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good story. It's very good origin story.
Yeah, just people that are close to you, that support you, giving you this.
Right. Exactly. Hello, Chaos is saying hi. Hey now, let's not do that, sir. Daddy loves you. Yes, I know. Daddy loves you. Go bug mom. Awesome. So, what do you have going on right now? You got any like shows or anything coming up? Or are you just kind of sitting on stuff, working on music, working on projects?
I got songs that I got coming out. They should be coming out every like 8 to 9 weeks. And then after which should fill up the rest of the year, and then after that, I should drop my album probably first quarter next year, something like that. As far as shows go, I don't have anything planned, really. There's, I don't know. I'm not in the mindset to do shows right now. Like, I mean, maybe if they make sense or if they're good, but I'm more focused on creating my catalog before I do anything.
Fair enough.
Because I mean, nowadays, I mean, think about it. Like, if you can go to a show, and I'm not saying the shows are bad. I'm not. They're really good, but you could go to a show and perform in front of like 5 people, and have fun doing it and stuff. Or you can work on your craft, work on building up, and reach 100 people by just putting out a song.
Right.
Then you can go out after you build that up and perform at a show and perform in front of 20 people.
Yeah,
You could do it that way, and just nowadays, I mean, I'm not eager to do shows like I used to be.
I can kind of see that too.
It's just kind of like if it presents itself, then cool. But if it doesn't, then that's fine.
Right. Well, it probably doesn't help that you're about at the farthest point in the country from anywhere else in the country.
Actually, no, it doesn't. That doesn't help at all. That actually happened. Oh, I know. I don't travel in the winter. I had a bad experience. But I remember one time. It's funny that you bring that up. When Verbal Assault was on a break, I was doing my own shit, and I contacted this guy, and he passed away a few years ago. But I contacted him, and he was doing a show downstate, but he was doing a car show. And like, I know nothing about a vehicle. Well, I can't say nothing, but I'm not like a car guy, whatever. But I was just like, oh, a car show, right. So I was like, oh, car shows are cool. That sounds fun.
They're pretty.
So I hit him up. So I hit him up about performing, and he hit me with the classic, well, how many tickets can you move? And then I did what you're not supposed to do in the music business ever when somebody asks you that question, and I told him the truth. I was like, I can't move any because, I'm just kind of starting out back on my own and all that. So we got talking, and he goes, well, if you want to make it anywhere, then I would consider moving. So rather than get mad, that kind of like motivated me a little bit. So I'm like, okay. So then I did a Mad Child show downstate, and I got a bunch of stories about that. But anyway, I performed, and then once I got off the stage, I was getting business cards from everybody.
Nice.
And there was one business card I had from a dude that told me that I killed it up there and all that, which we did. And it was from the guy that told me that I should probably move if I wanted to make anything of myself. And to me, people can be all like, well, that was just somebody conducting business, which it probably was. But to me, that was his way of going, I was wrong. And to me, that was my way of going, I told you.
Absolutely.
But it's just, that's just one of those, we all get them in life. That's just one of those stories that you'll just never forget.
Yeah, no, we've all got them. I get into mine some other time. There's probably 100 musical or otherwise.
Oh, we all got them.
Yeah, like one of my best experiences with the music industry was actually with Earworm. Who most of them don't. They just kind of dropped off. Don't talk to me much since I moved, which is whatever. But like for example, Maniac Max, I got to meet him before he died, and he was fucking amazing. He was one of the coolest, most down-to-earth people you ever meet. Literally, never having met me before, welcomed me into the Earworm family with open arms at a garage show.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It was fucking cool.
Casket's like that. Because he did that to me,
Yeah, we went to Nails Fest one year, and Casket was like that with me. That's when I got to meet him, and he was really cool.
It's weird. He's one of those people where you talk to him and you feel like you've known him forever.
Yeah. We tried to do a Juggalo trivia thing. We had all kinds of merch and shit to give away because at that point, I had artists were just sending me shit.
Yeah.
Here's a bunch of singles, here's a bunch of CDs, here's a bunch of this, here's a bunch of that, here's a couple of t-shirts, and so all right, so I was trying to do the Juggalo trivia thing. It didn't kind of go very well. I think I need a whole lot more people in the audience for that. I think there's more people probably watching afterwards, especially tonight. This is awesome. It probably wasn't the best night to do it because I'm looking through and I'm going, fuck, there's like 5 other different shows, like shows, concerts that I know of all across the country that everybody else is at.
Yeah. Yeah. Like
so
Fury Tricked Out, Casket, and all them, I think, are at a show tonight.
Yeah, Freak
if I remember
Show's
right.
at a show somewhere. Scum's got a show going on somewhere.
Oh yeah, he does. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole bunch of shit. So I apologize for that, because I had no idea that was going to go down that way.
So what? People, I mean, live video goes up anyways, and people can watch it all later.
Yeah, exactly.
All you got to do is take your live video, like the one that you're doing right now, take it and then cut them up into small little segments and post them as reels on your channel, and there you go.
Yep, that's going to be, that's why I cut it down a little bit. I cut the timing down. I was doing it when I first started this. We were trying to do it like at least once a week.
Yeah.
And at this point, with everything going on, it was good and it was awesome and it got no haters out there and it got a lot of people more. And it wasn't necessarily that it got a lot of people, oh, we're a lot more fans because a lot of people are watching it. But what it did was it just increased that umbrella because I had like my first guest was politicized.
Yeah.
And I had a few other people that I was reposting for and whatever, so it was getting a little big, but my first guest was politicized. And then my second guest, I think, was Young Pazuzu, and so the umbrella got that much bigger. And then I had Fame the HOF, and it got that much bigger, and until it just became what it is now.
Yeah.
And it'll just keep getting bigger. The more names I add on, like, put under the umbrella, just cover them with no haters.
Right.
You know, and everybody helps everybody else out that way, which was my main point behind doing this in the first place.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, a rising tide raises all boats, you know?
Yes, sir. Yes, it absolutely does. I had somewhere else I was going with that, but
that happens to me a lot.
Yeah. I blame it on all kinds of shit. I'm a stoner. Hazards of getting old.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Honestly, I've kind of always been like that, though. So.
Yeah, I can relate.
It's whatever. So, that I guess concludes the serious questions that I had. I had a few others. You know, I was kind of like, okay, really simple and stupid, but who knows?
Well, what are they?
Important.
No, let's
the
go.
Last thing you bumped?
You had to ask me that, didn't you? Jeez.
Doesn't even have to be underground shit or, you know.
No, I know.
Whatever.
Trying to think of the last, like the last song or like the last album.
Either or both.
Okay. The last album I think I bumped was the new Zool album. And then I think the last song that I bumped was I think it was something off my Spotify. Oh, it was Tobacco Road by Every Mother's Nightmare.
Huh.
If you like it's funny because they were like Every Mother's Nightmare was like the first like rock band I ever like super got into as a kid. But if you like old like early 90s like you know how the hair metal scene back then was kind of getting out of the Poison sound and getting a little bit more the metalish sound. Yeah. Anyway, they had that that kind of sound.
Yeah, I remember Every Mother's Nightmare. They were good. I was listening. That was back when I was still I was a thrasher, so I was listening to everything from Poison to Sanctuary. You know,
right.
I was Deicide, fucking all of that. And I used to find we still had record stores then, and I used to go in and look in the bargain tape bins. You know, they'd have a couple little boxes of cassette tapes.
Yeah, and
like
you would
$1
just
a piece, and most of them were like demo tapes. They were just tapes that a producer or whatever, a record company, an artist, you know, just tossed to the record to the store and said, "Here, man, check this out, see what you think." And after a while, they just kind of cycled them out and they would sell them. And I came across a lot of good bands like that. Have you ever heard of Baton Rouge?
No.
Check them out. They're the album I have, and I still have it and listen to it regularly, is Lights Out on the Playground. It's they're like 90s metal with a definite Louisiana, like a Baton Rouge bluesy feel.
Oh, okay. Like a let's see, Baton Rouge. So like a sludge band, like a sludge. You know what I mean? Like Down.
Yes, but not nearly as hardcore.
Yeah. Okay.
More 90s, more leaning towards the hair metal. It was like that transition from hair metal
that bridge.
Metal.
Yeah. Okay.
But they were really fucking good. I still love them to this day.
I have to check that out
But
because I
it's
like
funny.
southern rock or southern like metal. I shouldn't say rock because I don't like Leonard Skinner and stuff like that. But
So you
you
like
know, I
Blackstone
just
Cherry then?
I like that one song that I heard.
Which one?
Uh, the one that made him popular. I can't remember what it is to save my life, but it was the one that made him popular, and it was like when they first came out. I can't remember.
Yeah, I
You
don't
know.
even know. I didn't even hear them when they first.
Oh,
Wait a
okay.
minute.
Well,
No, I know what song you're talking about. Never mind.
it was the one that made them like everybody knew them, but only everybody knew them because of that one song.
What it was? I can't remember the name of it. Like
I don't know.
big
It's
train rolling through
yeah,
my yes,
yeah.
that song. Okay, yep. I know. My absolute favorite Blackstone Cherry song to this day is still White Trash Millionaire.
Yeah.
Fucking if you haven't heard it, go check it out. It's definitely worth the listen, especially if you like, southern bluesy type.
Yeah, I do. I'm a sucker for that. That's my dad's fault.
No, I understand. My father, I leaned more towards my father's taste than my mother's when I was growing up, and then it kind of blossomed into other
Mine
harder.
was a mixture of both. Cause like my dad would listen to like a lot of Zeppelin and Janis Joplin and Sabbath, Ozzy, stuff like that. So like I had a love for like the bluesy type shit. My mom was more of like Every Mother's Nightmare, Tesla, Cinderella,
Okay.
and then both of them, like I got into like Metallica, AC/DC, Manson, Pantera, Helmet, like just all kinds of stuff. But like my dad, I guess I inherited because my dad likes when he was growing up, he liked a lot of the more obscure bands, a lot of the more less popular bands. And that's funny because so do I.
Oh.
I remember finding like Biokillers. A lot of people know who Biokillers are now, but it's like I remember being in high school, I found out about them on SoundClick. And I downloaded their album and I played it to death. While
It's like
everybody else,
now, yeah, it's like now we all know who Jelly Roll is and who Jelly Roll was, but now everybody knows who he is.
yeah, and that's not a bad thing, but it's just like, everybody's like, oh my god, Jelly Roll and all this. It's like, yeah, but I
They
knew
don't
who
know.
Jelly Roll. I knew who Jelly Roll was when he was getting posted on Fago Lovers with Haystack.
Yeah, anybody who listens to him now who just found out like, oh, he's so awesome. Yeah, go listen to Zombies.
Yeah, but I mean, like, people can't. There's probably people out there that feel like he's sold out. You know what I mean? But it's like he didn't sell out. He was just in the rap game, and he was just tired of doing it because it wasn't going anywhere, and he'd pretty much done all he wanted to do. And then he went and tried this different venture just because, and it just happened to work. But he's a fan of it. It's not like he's like a lot of some of these other people and jumping on the country bandwagon. That's him. That's what he grew up in.
Well, yeah, because he's from like Tennessee, isn't he?
Yeah, or somewhere around there, yeah. And I don't, to me, selling out is when you conform to something to make money off of it. that's you selling out. But
Kinda.
if you're trying a different genre because you're a fan of that genre and it just happens to work, then there you go. You're still being true to you. You know?
Fair enough. Yeah.
And then when you keep doing it, and it's making you money, well, he's just doing it for the money. Well, he's doing it because he likes it, but it also pays him. So in a way, yeah. But can you be mad?
I'm not mad at him for his success, because ultimately, I mean, that's kind of what it's kind of what we all want. I don't know. I don't know that I ever want that or ever would want that. Once upon a time,
No.
every kid wants to be a rock star at one point in their life.
Yeah.
I still want to be a rock star, but I don't want to be a rock star. I don't want anything to do with the mainstream. I'm happy where I'm at. I like the underground.
I always said that I never wanted to be rich and famous. I would just rather be popular and comfortable.
Yes. Exactly. It's like I tell people all the time, I would rather be hungry than broke.
Right. Exactly. I have a thing where like I've done a lot of stuff, and to me, reminiscing and looking back on all the stuff that I did, to me, a legacy outweighs the money.
Absolutely.
Like, a lot of, I mean, let's face it, a lot of us are doing this because we like doing it, and it doesn't make us a lot of money. But the legacy that we leave, you should be looking at that, because that's something nobody can take away from you.
The last time I looked at my ASCAP account, I think I had $3 and change on it.
Fuck yeah. That's right. That's more than what you had before.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's something.
That's right.
I'd like to make a little bit more. I would like to actually be able to make enough with it that I can stop working, my day job and spend all my time doing that, if that's what it takes, to be as comfortable as I am now.
Right.
A little bit more comfortable would be nice, but again, I mean, I'd rather be happy. I'd rather be happy and comfortable than, because that's another thing that people don't realize until it's too late is with the fame, with the fortune comes all the other problems that go with it.
Yeah, but you're also in control of that too. And I had this conversation with somebody. I'm not gonna say who it is or anything like that, but they had they were still trying to figure out like how to work like their socials and stuff, and they were gonna do something for a moment that they had going on. It was it was supposed to be like a super private thing, but he wanted to share it with everybody, and it ended up not happening. And I was all like, you should be vulnerable with your audience. You should, because your audience should relate to you as a person, not just an artist, not just somebody that's trying to get them to listen to this, buy that, look at this, whatever. They should be able to also relate to you. So post your personal stuff, but you don't have to post everything. And you don't have to post super personal stuff either. And they were all like, oh, you're right. I'm still trying to get used to the balance. And I was all like, well, think about it. Like, look at what I do. Like, I share personal things here and there, with my audience. But like, if I take a picture and the picture, like I have one on my thing, it's a picture of me, my wife, and one of my kids. And I took a sticker and I put it over my kid's face, because I don't post pictures of my kids on my Facebook, and I don't even, or I try really hard not to even mention their names or anything, because I always refer to them as my kids, or I'll mention my daughter, my son, whatever. But other than that, that's about as far as you'll get, And I try to explain that's what I mean. Like, it's okay to be personal with your audience, but I mean, they don't need to know everything.
No, they don't. Like, I got
You know?
one kid. He's a good kid. He's a good guy. And I'm not gonna mention names, but
Right.
I've had this conversation with him a couple of times. He keeps letting his friend, and he's young, I get it, but he keeps letting his friends onto, his lives and stuff, and all up in his business, and he's only he's had several accounts because he keeps getting the banned or
The
blocked
bandhammer.
or blacklisted or something, because his friends, because they're all kids, keep starting drama and starting bullshit.
Well, yeah.
And I keep telling him, don't do that. Do not. You need to, if you're going to do that, fine. It is what it is, brother. But you have to make a separate account that's just for you and your friends to do whatever with. And then whatever happens, happens. Keep your music account and your music life separate.
Right. Exactly. And it's just like, if I'll tell you, if I could give one piece of advice to anybody that's watching it now and the people that'll watch it in the future, is that if you're an artist and if you're at least semi-serious about doing music, you need to either make another Facebook account, or you need to start treating your private account as a business account. Not everybody needs to know your private business splattered all over your personal page. And I tried to tell somebody that one time, and he just kept posting like the drama that was going on like all the time. And it's just like, dude, like, if you stop doing that, like, people are gonna notice you and reach out to you and want to do stuff. And he just wouldn't listen. And then nothing ever became of whatever he was trying to do. And it's like, because nobody wants to deal with you if you're just doing all that kind of shit.
No,
you're
come on here.
Even on your personal page, your fans will find, or your crowd will find out who you are personally on Facebook. And then once they've sent that friend request and you accept it, what they see on your personal page should be just about what they see on your band page. Either that.
I even changed my name on all my other accounts to Chaotic Neutral.
Yeah.
It's just that.
Like either that, or don't don't accept people that you don't know who they are. Keep it friends and family, and keep it private.
Exactly.
And if that's not your thing and you want to keep it public, then you got to be mindful about how you act. My Facebook used to be like I used to vent a lot on there and shit, but I don't, because it's not a diary. There's stuff that goes on in my life that the world doesn't need to know about.
I don't post much of anything personal. The most personal I get is every once in a while I'll post a picture or a video of one of the cats.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Like what my wife said. You are a reflection of your work.
Yes. Oh, that's the wife. Okay. Cool, because I'm following her too. I've been following her for a while. I think I was actually following her about the same time I started following you on Instagram, but I had no idea she was your wife.
That's hilarious, because I literally told her that before I went live on here. I was all like, "Yeah, he was following you before he followed me." And
oh yeah,
she was, "That's right."
Yeah, it was nuts. You know, 'cause I was. It was before I started doing the no haters thing, or
Yeah.
it was before I started, or about the same time. So I was getting into the underground.
Yeah, it was around
Names kept
that
popping
area.
up, and yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Awesome. So, one last question for you, brother. I know it's getting late there. You got kids, whatever, and we can still shoot the shit, whatever. This can go on as long as you want. But one more question I wanted to get out of the way. I don't think I no, I didn't ask you this. I've asked a couple of people this. If you could work with anybody in the music industry, dead or alive, who would it be?
Diabolic. Hands down.
Real quick.
Like hands down. Like that dude. If I it's so bad because I haven't really sat down and listened to anything like album wise after Fighting Words. But if you listen to Liar and a Thief, the album Liar and a Thief, you listen to the album Fighting Words, or you listen to his mixtape Foul Play, and like that dude should be like on everybody's top 10. You know, but he's never he doesn't like playing the music business bullshit. And he's kind of like one of those dudes that just does whatever he wants.
Right.
You know, but I mean, that dude can rap his ass off. And if I could, I mean, I would be so mediocre on the song, but like if I could get him on something, that boom, right then and there.
You know, and I don't even look at it like that. And I'm not going to say I haven't heard things that are. I'm not going to say substandard because they're not. You know, because that's part of what the underground is, a part of what No Haters is about. It's like there's no hate involved.
Right.
If you've got the balls to get out there and do it, then you've got the balls to get out there and do it. And it's art. It's what it is. You hear things every once in a while where there's definitely an offset. There's definitely and it's not even usually talent. Usually it's a case of mixing and mastering. You know, I'm getting used to that. I'm still learning tricks and figuring out how to do that. And I've been working on that for what, 4 or 5 years now.
Oh yeah, like I literally just learned like how to do my own stuff, mixing and mastering, like last year, like to where I like it.
Nice. Yeah, I started trying to. I was actually the first few beats I got from Six Side.
Yep.
And I actually had him mix and master a couple of things, like the first No Haters cipher, the only one so far. I am working on another one. If you're interested, as soon as I get it, I have to revamp it. I got to fuck with it. But if you're interested, if you're down, there's always a slot for you on there.
Yeah, just send it.
Awesome. Yeah, as soon as I'm done. But in any case, so I was working through him and having him do shit, and then I started working a little bit more because I got my Mac, and I said, fuck it. I had the money at the time because I was making decent money, had a good job. So I just dropped the $200 on Logic Pro.
Yeah.
And started doing it more and more myself, making my own beats, learned how to start mixing and dealing with the vocals. The mastering is fucking with me. I got to mess with that. Part of that is the tinnitus.
Well, see, that's what happened to me was the mastering. Like I learned how to mix, and then it was all like, it's not turning out right. Then I learned how to mix better, and it's like, oh, I'm onto something here, okay. And then like I learned how to master, and I thought I learned it right, and then I was all like, no, this doesn't sound right. And then I had to go back and teach myself again and try some different shit. And then, I mean, I'm not saying that I can mix anything and all that, but I mean, hey, I can do a pretty damn good job for my own stuff.
I try. I say I do most of my shit. You know what you did.
Yep.
I did a good portion of the mixing before it even went out, and then Freak Show, I had him do the rest of it, and he mixed the rest of it out and mastered it for me.
Yep.
And then I dropped it. I'm trying to work more and more on my own, mainly because I'm a broke dick motherfucker. I can't afford to pay anybody to do that right now.
No, but I mean, like, YouTube is free, and reading stuff. You know,
Yeah.
like I learned a lot of mixing and mastering from watching a lot of YouTube videos, from reading some stuff here and there, and Bars taught me some stuff. You know, and Bars teaching me stuff, and I'm not saying that I do what he does, you know, but it's just he taught me some things, and then I watched some stuff, I read some things, and then I figured my own stuff out.
Right.
But I mean, that's the beauty of one of your best friends being an audio engineer. He won't tell you everything, but he'll just give you some little tidbits here and there.
Well, I shouldn't say this too loud, but my game is about to get stepped up a whole lot more because one of my friends, he's been in the music business for a long time, like part owner of radio stations, and actually in metal bands, and he's got all the old school soundboards, and he plays guitar, he plays bass, he plays drums, and he's got all that. It's just a case of he's got something else more important going right now. As soon as that kind of quiets down, so that we can concentrate on other stuff. I'm gonna have a real recording studio in town to go play around in with a real engineer.
Yeah.
Not messing around with myself and teaching myself. I'm still gonna do stuff myself here and mix beats and whatever else, but my game's about to get stepped up a little bit.
Oh, hey, there you go. I mean, my whole thing is, like, when it comes to studios, though, from what I've learned is that, like, nowadays, like, going to a studio, you're just going there for nostalgia.
Kind of, because you can do everything all your own.
Yeah.
You know, I've got the expensive stuff, but that was just because I could afford it at the time.
Right.
If I couldn't, I probably still would have had a shitty little PC or laptop with a pirated copy of Fruit Loops or something on there. Or
yeah, but I mean, like, you can make magic off that kind of stuff. You don't always need the expensive stuff to, to make anything.
There's a lot of people out there still who are making shit on their phones.
Yeah.
I could do that all day with fucking GarageBand on my phone. I could make my own beats. I could, record everything right there. Would it be like top quality? No, because there's the mixing and mastering capabilities are a little scaled down, but still, you can put out some pretty decent shit like that.
Yeah. I mean, the mixing and mastering thing, I mean, that's just I started dabbling in that myself probably like 5 years ago, and it took me that long to finally kind of figure it out. Because I learned shit that, like, a normal person and a lot of these video tutorials and stuff don't tell you. And I'm all like, what the fuck? Tell you all their tricks. I know, but I mean, like, it's like I thought I would have come across something like that in my travels. Nope. And then from reading, stuff from audio engineers and on forums and stuff like that, I'm like, the hell is that? So I'd Google it, and I'd be all like, what the fuck?
Yeah, nobody told you that part. They gave you this part and this part and this part, but there's this in here and there's this over here. And
Yeah.
yeah, and they're not going to make really any money if they give everybody all their secrets. Like a magician never tells his secrets.
No, and nor should they.
No. Absolutely not. I mean, I don't care. I don't mind sharing what little bit of knowledge I have of anything with people, just because I'm not really in it for me. I mean, I kind of am, and I enjoy it. I love it. I love the music. I love the underground. I love the family. I love all of this, every little part of it. But part of what I'm in here for, if I can help somebody with something,
right,
I'm down. You know, I don't care. I'm not in it to be better than everybody else. I'm in it to just be part of it.
Right. Exactly. It's like Good Bars. He's been telling people for years how to to sign up for your PROs and all that. And I think one day he got sick and tired of like people not listening to him. So he had like a case of the fuckets and like posted about it on Facebook, but broke it down like from start to finish about what you're supposed to do when it comes to your PRO and what it does and all that. So I mean, he was just like, I'm done gatekeeping. I'm done. This is what you do. Like right here, word for word, like there's no excuse. So, he's one of those dudes that like, he'll tell you a little bit of it. The rest of it, go figure it out for yourself. But then when he's trying to drop gems on you like that to help you and you're not listening, it's almost like he wants to write it down and shove it in your face and be like, look.
Beat you in the head with a few times, see if that works.
Yeah, exactly.
Osmosis, bam, bam, bam.
Exactly. It's like, guys, I'm giving you the keys. Like, hello. It's funny shit.
All right, brother. That's probably good for the night. I'm not gonna lie, I'm fucking exhausted.
Are you? Yeah. Are you really?
2 hours earlier here, and I feel like an old fucker, but I kind of am an old fucker.
We all are. We're all old fuckers.
Getting there.
Oh, hey. So, did you see? Have you seen the latest underground? Not really drama or anything like that, but the latest craze right now.
Which one are we talking about?
With the Joker.
Talking about those. What?
The Joker.
The Joker.
Remember the rapper, the Joker?
Yeah, I fucking like. I love him and I hate him at the same time. He's an asshole, but I gotta respect him, and he's damn fucking talented. Is he back?
I know. So yeah. So he's got a band called Jester. Right?
He does.
Right. So he's got this whole documentary up on YouTube about it. And all it is that he's not doing the rap thing anymore because he was talked into forming a band with like a bunch of different people that have the same mindset that he does and all this stuff. And supposedly they dropped an album, and then he wants to turn it into like a cartoon series or something like that for Netflix to make it bigger than music and all this kind of shit. And he's talking about doing all these videos for these artists and mixing and mastering their shit, whatever. And then he talks about getting a deal from a record label for $300,000. And he turned it down. because he wants to do shit on his own, whatever. So it's like, okay, that's kind of cool.
I
So
get it.
he posted a video on his YouTube, and it's like almost a half an hour long, and it's him pulled over on the side of the road in his BMW car that's nice as fuck. In the documentary, you see him living in like the fancy part of wherever the hell he's living and all this shit. And it showed him gifting one of his band members a truck and all this. So anyway, in the video, he's crying and giving, like literally crying and telling his whole sob story and everything. And at the end of the video, he said that he's looking for people to invest in him and that he's trying to make like fucking 9 figures or something like that so he can make this come true. And if you contribute something, you'll get 3 times that much money back and all this kind of shit. And people in the comments are literally like, dude, you were offered a $300,000 contract and you said no. Like, why are you begging people for money? And
From
then
a
people,
BMW.
yeah, exactly. Somebody actually said that. And yeah, you're just like, dude, like, holy fuck.
I just lost respect for him. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, I mean, lately he's been on that kick of freaking ripping people off again.
Again? You mean he's done that before?
Yeah. He's done collabs. He's done collabs with people and he hasn't delivered on them. And then that contest, remember when Funk Volume had the Don't Funk Up Our Beats contest?
Nope.
Okay, so Funk Volume had that going on. And it was a thing of they give you choose between like 4 beats or something, download it, record it, make the video, they vote on it, and you got some kind of a prize. Well, the Joker did one too, and I think Passionate MC ended up winning it or something like that. But then something ended up happening where the Joker didn't deliver on what the fuck the prize was supposed to be. And that was kind of like not really a big deal, but I mean, if you paid close attention, you've seen it going on. So
That's just shitty.
I mean, it's just like the hell was that album that he made? It was like the Juggalo album or whatever.
Yeah.
But it took him like fucking 4 years to make it, to get the physical shit for it, and then mail it out to people. Like, that's just weird.
Yeah,
You know, and he had all kinds of pre-orders for it. And people were all like, well, where's our shit?
I guess you can go stream it on Spotify.
Well, I mean, he ended up getting the stuff and everything, and I guess he ended up mailing it out to whoever, according to him. But I mean, like, he hasn't had a good business model. Like, it started out okay, and then I don't even know really where shit went wrong. Probably when he was beefing with tech. I don't know.
Yeah, that just seems. I mean, I've heard the tracks. I've heard that, you know. I mean, he had serious issues with both Tech and Hobson, and then he fucking, you know, another track apologizing for being a dick, and then another track just being an asshole to Juggalos, and
yeah, but the thing is though is that him apologizing for being a dick to Hobson was because, like, as far as I know, the story is that he felt like he was being pushed out by Dame. When Dame was running Funk Volume and Hobson was being the business partner, well, Hobson and Joker were actually really good friends for a long time. and then the Joker did this thing with Hobson back and forth that he was dissing him and all that kind of shit. And then it was Hobson did a video for Hot Madness, I think. The Joker filmed it, and the Joker was supposed to have a cameo in it, as in like a, you know, ha, we got you kind of moment. And Dame cut it, and then that kind of became a thing, and that's where the issues started. And then the Joker went and patched things up, and then came out with that song apologizing and stuff when they were both in the video. So it's like, okay. And then the Juggalo thing, that was all a joke. That's all that was.
Well, maybe, but it's kind of hard to tell sometimes.
Well, I know.
Especially when he disses everybody else in most of his tracks. It's kind of hard to take that as a joke.
I get that. But that's that's what he was doing. You know? And the outrage that he was getting from it was supposed to be part of the thing. Like, you're not right. You're supposed to be mad at this, you know? So that's kind of what it was supposed to be. But it was just, it started out funny, and then I think he didn't really know what to do with it. You know, like, it's kind of like one of those things where somebody's joking with you, but then the joke goes too far, not to the point where it's offensive, but just to the point of where you're just over it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I think that was.
I've had to deal with that a couple of times. Almost come to blows with a couple of people over just because, you know, they thought it was a joke, and it just got old and old and older and older and older.
Yeah.
Until finally it's just like, dude, you don't understand. You're just pissing me off at this point. Just shut the fuck up.
Right.
I'm done.
Right. But it's just, I don't know. He's a talented dude and everything, but like, I don't know. It's just, it seems like as a person, he just seems like a shitbag.
I've kind of caught that.
I mean, I can separate the art from the artist, you know, for most cases, you know. So I mean, like, you can make great art and be a shitty person, you know. But how shitty of a person you are depends on whether or not I'm still going to support your art.
Yeah, pretty much. You can only forgive just so much.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, I mean, it's just, I'm trying to think. Actually, I'm trying to think if there's anybody that I support that's actually a shitty person. I can't think of any off the top of my head. But I mean, any celebrity, anybody in a big band, any big artist or whatever, if you think about it, they could be a shitty person for all you know.
Yeah, you don't know until you actually know.
No.
Hopefully it's not too fucking late at that point.
No. I mean, all the famous people that I've met, I mean, have been cool for the most part. I haven't had a bad experience with any. I think the people that I've opened up for, like the Flatliners were cool. I didn't really get to meet them, but they were cool. R.A. the Rugged Man's cool. Mad Max is cool as shit. Slane was super fucking cool. That was awesome. I didn't get to meet Mad Child because that's a story. Seth's crew was cool. They were like super fucking cool. Nappy Roots can eat a dick though. like not all of them except for one of the dudes, and I don't know who he is, but I'm pretty sure he's like the shortest member out of the group. He was cool because he said that we did a good job. The rest of the dudes though can eat a dick. And their roadie was cool. Their roadie was cool as shit.
Sleepy's over here talking shit.
So tired.
Well, then go to
About
bed.
nappy roots, that's cool. She should do it.
She's just talking shit in general. I don't even think she knows what she's saying at this point. It's just kind of.
She knows exactly what she's saying. Thank you. I said most roadies can eat a good dick. I'm not wrong. And Axl Rose is an infamous asshole.
Oh, that's yeah. I like Appetite for Destruction, but Axl Rose can eat a dick.
Yes.
You know, I have heard nothing
Just
but bad things about that man. On all accounts, he's one of the biggest pieces of shit ever.
Because it's
Moody from
ego.
Five Finger Death Punch.
It's ego.
Yes, but they're amazing behind a fucking mic.
Yeah.
You know, Axl is talented as fuck. Yes,
Yeah.
they're gods in that fucking genre. They just are. Which
Yeah.
is why, you know, they got to the point where they were, but it doesn't make them.
You know who's somebody that after I didn't get to do the show because it was the next day. I did the first day, but when we did the first Lethal Weekend, I think it was the first one. Busy Bone from Bone Thugs was there the next day. He came and he literally bought one thing from everybody's merch table.
That's fucking awesome.
Isn't it?
That's a down to earth motherfucker right there.
Yeah.
That's a good dude.
I was like, shit. I wish I was there.
I was down with COVID, but she went to a show up in Vermont before we moved. The last show before Coolio died.
Oh yeah.
And
I also have a picture of
she got a picture with Vanilla Ice. Didn't you
That's
say
cool.
Coolio was just a dick?
Julio's. I mean.
It's okay. You can say he's a dick. Just because he's dead doesn't mean that you have to be nice. I'm just
He's a
saying.
dead dick.
Yeah, I mean, rest in peace or pieces, whatever have you, but dude was an asshole.
See, that I have that kind of philosophy where, like, you know, a lot of people won't say anything negative about somebody that had died. You know, and my whole thing is this. If I didn't like you when you were alive, I'm still not going to like you now that you're dead.
Nope.
You know, I'll just be respectful to the people that are affected by your death and just not run my mouth or anything like that. But I mean, if somebody asks me a question about you, I'm going to be honest about it.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
I don't know what you want me to tell you, you know? That happened. There was somebody that died. I think it was last year or something like that. But like he was a prick. You know, like I knew him, and he was always a prick. And then he died, and it was just kind of. I think somebody brought him up in conversation, and it was just like, okay, he was a dick though. And then, I don't know, they tried making just a little bit of a big deal about it. And it's like, I'm not going to lie. Just because the dude's dead does not mean that my feelings have changed. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, no. Death doesn't make people more likable.
No. Like, I mean, should you respect people that died? Sure. But I mean, like, just because you're dead doesn't mean that gives you a pass.
I don't respect a lot of people that are alive.
Well, yeah, exactly.
It's like I'm that generation. I'm fuck your feelings, fuck around and find out. And I'm sorry, I never subscribe to the, well, you need to respect me because of this, because of that, because I'm older, because I was in the military, because I was that, because I don't give a fuck what you were. You could have been a hero in a fucking war. That doesn't make you a good person, and it doesn't make you not a piece of shit. It's just, you know, it doesn't matter what you or who you or what you have done. If you're still a piece of shit, you can paint a turd any color you want. still a turkey.
Yeah. Mm.
You know, it doesn't matter if it's camouflaged or gold or what the fuck it is.
Or
And most
silver.
birds are camouflaged by nature simply because, you know, that's how you find them. It's by stepping on them.
And slipping and almost falling.
Yes.
Hey, you want to hear a really funny story?
Absolutely.
So this is like one of my favorite road stories that I could ever fucking tell. And we weren't opening for the show or anything like that, but it was just when we still were doing the group shit. So it was me, it was Chris, and it was Woo Guy. And we were always together. And when things happened, it was always when we were together, which is weird. So anyway, we ended up getting Woo Guy got tickets to go see Twisted downstate. And originally I wasn't gonna go, but Kung Fu Vampire was gonna be there. And then I was like, well, maybe I should go then. So anyways, he got VIP tickets, so we went. We got there, went to VIP. VIP was cool. I did the normal thing that I do when I'm in new situations, and I sit at a table with my two friends, and I ignore everybody, and I just kind of suck everything in. It's like, if you're not my friends, don't talk to me, please, because I don't know you. So anyway, this chick comes over, and she sits down next to Chris, and Chris is talking to her because he was the social one out of everybody. And like, I'm kind of listening and kind of not, and I'm thinking like, holy fuck, somebody get this weird bitch out of here, please. And you know, the show is gonna start, so we get up. I think she left, or she was still talking to Chris, something like that. So we go out, and we're gonna get searched and all that before we go into the main area. So it's like, okay, whatever. So we do. And then we have to put our merch bags with the front desk. They would hang on to it while we went in. That's cool. And then the chick that was talking to Chris was bitching because she couldn't bring her mascara in or something, made a big deal about it. And all I could think of was, oh my God, I hope the security doesn't think that this crazy bitch was with us, because she's not. Please don't ruin this night for us. So then we went in. The show was cool. That was by far the most put together show that I've ever been to. We leave, missed the VIP because we were watching Kung Fu Vampire. That was fine. They compensated us for it. We left, went to where we parked the car. We parked the car in a parking garage. So we go down to the parking garage after the show, and the gate is down on the parking garage. So we're just all like, what the fuck? So then we find out that the side door is open, and there's a block of wood there. So it's like, oh, they must leave this open for people that park their cars here. Okay. So we go through the door, and we walk all the way up to where he parked, which I think was on like the almost last level. And I think it was like a 4-tier garage, something like that. Anyway, we go to his car, and we can't get in. And he can't unlock it. I can't remember why, but he can't get in the car. So he's fucking with it, trying to get in there. I need to piss. So I'm like trying to figure out like how in the hell I'm going to take a piss up here. So meanwhile, I'm like leaning up against the end of the parking garage where you can look out over, and there's a drunk dude walking up the street asking people if they want to fuck. And my Chris is just all like, dude, like, don't stand there. I was like, why? Because you're gonna get that guy to see that we're up here, and we really don't want to deal with that right now. Like, yeah, okay. So we go, and we kind of like hide away from this dude that's out there. and Wu guy still can't get into his car. So I'm like debating with myself on going into this hallway and pissing in this hallway because I can't take it anymore. So as I'm walking toward the door, security guard pops up. And he goes, "What are you guys doing?" Blah, blah, blah. "Well, we just came from the concert next door, all this kind of stuff. We can't get into the car." Then he goes, "Well, what, you guys said you were partying up here?" "No, we came from next door. We can't get into our friend's car. We don't know what's going on." So anyways, they call a locksmith. We wait probably 20 minutes or so for a locksmith. By this time, it's probably like 2 in the morning. So locksmith comes. Locksmith can't get into the car either. Can't figure it out. So Wu guy's all like, "If you take your baton, you can bust out my back window, and I'll just crawl through the door and I'll do it." Security guard goes, "Well, I'm not going to do it, but I'll give this to you and you can do it." He goes, "But I'm not doing it to your car." He goes, "Okay." So he takes the dude's baton and busts out his back window, gets into his car, all that kind of shit. So we get into the car and the dude's all like, "Hey, drive down to the gate. I'll open the gate for you. You guys can go." Okay, cool. So we drive down, we get there, and Wu guy goes, "Hey, how do you get out of here? So we can get back on the interstate." So the security guard gives them the directions and all that. And we drive out and we hit a stop sign. Wu guy looks at me. He goes, "So, did you get all that?" I was like, "Did you get all what?" He's like, "The directions. Did you get all that?" I was like, "Dude, I'm not driving. Like, you're driving." He goes, "Oh, we'll figure it out." So we drive, and then we finally figured it out, but we got back to our destination like an hour later. But then, like, the next day, it dawned on us, right? We're in this parking garage, 3 guys dressed in, I think we all wore black clothing, in the top of a parking garage trying to get into a vehicle that we are saying is our vehicle. Not once did that security guard ask us for confirmation on whether or not that was really our vehicle. Like, at no point in time did he want anything to know whether or not that was our vehicle.
It's a good security guard.
Like, I think that dude just wanted to go home or something.
Probably.
It was like his last day.
Yeah,
But,
he's
like,
already checked out. He just don't care.
no, he just didn't give a shit. But to this day, I've never experienced anything like that before. That night was just weird.
Yeah,
Super weird night.
I had a night. My best friend in like junior high and high school. We right after we graduated. Right after I graduated, he dropped out. We used to take anytime we would get a new car, a different car. We would take it and we would just hit it as hard as we could on this one stretch of the U.S. Route 4 bypass. Oh yeah, you're from up that direction. You might know where I'm talking about. From Rutland across into New York into Whitehall.
Yeah.
So we used to do that, see how fast we could take that shit. Speedometer pegged. One night we did it and we had beer in the car. And obviously we're underage, we weren't supposed to. We went to the store in Whitehall, turned around, started heading back, and a cop followed us. I don't remember why. I don't remember if there was a light out or something, but he pulled us over. We weren't even doing anything wrong at that point. Pulled us over, decided he wanted to be suspicious, called for backup, and nothing really came of it, but they searched the car and they found beer. Now, the beer had just come out of a cooler, so it was still pretty ice cold, still had condensation on it, whole 9 yards. And the cop that pulled us over was trying to, I think he was a rookie, and he was just trying to, get some kills under his belt.
Right.
Well, his sergeant showed up, and there were like 2 or 3 other cop cars because a whole bunch of them, they must have been bored. New York State cops.
They're all out.
And they went, for the most part. Well, this one, he takes the beer, he finds the beer, and he's like, you know, you guys are underage. You're lucky this beer is piss warm. When it wasn't,
Yeah.
tossed it out in the fucking weeds and said, have a nice night. Let us fucking go. Like, that was probably the coolest fucking interaction I've ever had with a cop.
There was one interaction we had with a cop. We had it was during our fair that we have up here, our town fair, like every 4th of July.
Right.
And that night we had, let's see, I had to have been 16 at the time, I think, 17. And we had set up for a concert they had there at the Civic Center that was there. And then we helped tear it down afterwards. And we were like the only car there, like in the parking lot. So we got in and we were getting ready to leave while we were sitting there because a friend of mine grabbed the CD case from in the back that was in the trunk, and we were trying to figure out what to listen to. And the cop pulls up and just asks us what we're doing, you know, just standard shit. And we're like, yeah, we just tore down for that concert they had at the Civic Center. And he goes, oh, you did? And I said, yeah. I said, you can go in there and ask the people, you know, that were working there. And as I said that, the people that were working there, their van just happened to drive by up the road. So it's all like, okay, well, there that goes. And the cop was sitting there and just, you know, just asked for ID and all that stuff, and then just kind of bullshitted with us for a bit. And I was like, yeah, I'm just grabbing my CDs because we had them stashed in the back. And he goes, what do you mean stashed? And I'm like, inside, I'm like panicking, like, oh my God. You know, and it's like, we just had them back there so nobody would steal them. He goes, no, I know what you mean. And it's like, oh, okay. So then he ends up, you know, letting us go. We leave. We drive off. And my friend Rob was in the back seat, and he's the one that had the CD wallet on his lap, and it was open. And he goes, dude, I had a bag of weed, like, in the CD wallet. I said, you did? He goes, yeah. He goes, if I would have, or if anybody would have, like, flipped this page over, he would have seen it. I was all like, dude, like, and what's funny is, like, he had gotten in trouble the day before because he had knives on him. And he made up the excuse that he was transporting them for somebody, so they, like, let him go. But, like, so, like, the next day, there's that bag of weed thing, and yeah. I was like, dude.
But yeah, that's close.
I haven't had many close interactions with cops. So, I mean,
I've
it's
had
just...
more interactions with them than I like. I mean, it's not that I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm not saying it's all. It's just I the way I grew up and a lot of the people I was hanging out with when I got out of high school, I probably should have had more worse interactions with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I guess I lucked out because I had a lot of friends. Well, I can't say a lot of friends. I had friends, and I knew a lot of people. And I had friends that were into nothing, and I had friends that were into shit. And then there were people that I knew that were into shit. But my friends that were into shit would never allow me to get involved in whatever shit they were into. I remember driving a friend of mine to a house one time. I think I can't remember why I drove him there. And I don't even know if he told me. But I drove him there, And we parked the car, and I shut the car off, and I went to go get out. And he goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm parking here, and I'm coming inside with you." He goes, "No, you're not." He goes, "Sit here." He goes, "I'm going to go inside." He goes, "If I'm not out in 10, 20 minutes," he goes, "go home." I said, "You sure?" He goes, "Yeah." I said, "Okay." So I sat there, and it was kind of like a thing where he was in there for probably about 5 minutes, came back out. And, it was probably like a money thing, like he owed people money or something like that. I don't know. But that was like an example of him, like, this is my shit. This isn't yours. I just needed to come here. It's like, all right.
You just happen to be with me, so
Yeah, it was just a thing of like, you got nothing to do with it. You just brought me here because I didn't want to walk. So, but yeah, I guess, and then I've always been the type of person that minded my own business. So, I guess that kind of helped too.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I tried to. Trouble seemed to find me. I ended up, friends with too many people, I guess, and
Yeah.
people just kind of get stupid. I got framed for a bunch of shit. I got blamed for a bunch of shit. The cops pulled me in one day, said that I had stolen a van, a work van, taken it across the border into New York, and then ditched it full of
There you
somebody's
go.
work tools. When I had, I was like, no, I was actually working that day, and yeah, I can prove it. And
Huh.
they kept trying to get me to tell them that it was one of the, bad interactions. They kept trying to railroad
Yeah.
me and trying to get me to admit to something I didn't do because they were just trying to close the case. I'm like, dude, no. And I can tell you for a fact that there is somebody else around here whose name is almost identical to mine and who looks a lot like me, because a lot of people have thought we were the same person. And he's probably the one that did it. I don't know if they ever found him or not, but,
No, because you moved.
Well, I moved around a lot, too. This was a long fucking time ago. I was, 19?
Yeah.
So that was, I don't even want to tell you how long ago that was.
For a long time.
2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an old fucker.
We all are.
Yeah.
But I mean, so what? It seems
you feel.
I noticed that nowadays it seems like that people give less of a fuck about that. Like when I first got into music, I mean, you had like Soulja Boy, and you had like Chingy and all them, and like Lil Wayne and all that, and you had these rappers that were super young, and when you try to like get into the scene or whatever, and you're doing your own thing, you have that mindset of all like, well, if I don't make it by the time I'm 21, then there's no point in doing it. Then when you become 21, it turns into, well, if I don't make it, when I'm 30, then I'm done. And then it turns into, you hit, a certain age, and then all of a sudden you're just like, well, I don't care anymore.
Nope. I'm doing it to do it.
I'm doing it to do it. I mean, if you look at, a lot of people I haven't followed it in forever, but I seen a thing that showed a lot of wrestlers' ages, like in WWE, and a lot of them are getting their big moments, and they're like in their 40s. So it's just like, this is the new thing now.
A lot of it's experience and maturity.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it's usually it used to be like when you were that age, you're old. You're too old for this shit. Like, go away. But it seems like more so now that like they don't put a cap on your age anymore. If you're good at what you do and you're entertaining in what you do, nobody cares. Did you see those two? Have you seen those two old guys on YouTube? Like the really old guys? And no,
Maybe.
they're two rappers. They literally look like they're in their 70s.
No, I
right?
don't think I've seen them.
So yeah, they're like in their 70s or 80s. I'm not shitting you. And they were posting little shorts and stuff. And I guess they did like an open verse challenge kind of deal. And T-Pain found it and did an open verse challenge for it, and then they ended up locking in that collaboration.
Nice.
And like the dudes came out with an album and stuff. Yeah, it's not horrible. It's not. But like when you watch the shorts though, like it especially the ones that they first started doing, like if you go back, like those are kind of cringy to watch. But like once they got more comfortable with it, though, like it's pretty great.
Yeah, I can imagine. There's some people, and we're not going to get into names, but there's some rappers, and they're good. You know, they're decent. They big names in the underground, whatever. I just couldn't listen to them when I first started. For what reason? When I first found them, you know, I just like no, I just can't fucking do it. But then they grew on me. You know, like, and metal bands too, like fucking Cradle of Filth. The first time I heard them, I despised them. And then I saw them live, and they were even worse because they fucking sucked on stage. They actually went so far as to, Danny Filth actually said on stage, it was at Ozfest, they went through a couple of songs, and he went, "We're so hungover from last night, but that just makes the music better." And I'm going, "No, it doesn't."
Yeah.
But they've grown on me, and I've grown to absolutely fucking love Cradle of Filth.
Yeah, there's a lot of bands that did that for me, you know. It's like growing up as a teenager, like, you know, when I got into ICP and Twisted and all that kind of shit, I listened to that like more than anything. So like a friend of mine like was still listening to like metal and shit, and I mean so was I, but like I wasn't checking out the new shit. I was just obsessed with the Juggalo shit, you know? And he would like listen to like Cannibal Corpse and Carcass and stuff, and I hated it. Like I was like, dude, I'm not gonna listen to this shit, you know? And it was like, because I can't understand what they're saying. I'm not listening to this shit. And then when I got older, you know, I listened to like, I got into Lamb of God and Deicide and shit like that, and I'm all like, I found my band.
I hated Lamb of God first too.
Yeah.
I fucking hated Lamb of God. I love them now.
But I mean, it was like I found my bands, and then I went back and listened to Cannibal Corpse and all that, and it's all like that's what I was missing. And then as I got older, you know, it was kind of one of those things that bummed me out, because it's like, man, I missed out on a lot of prime shit. You know, I got into Fear Factory late. I got into Ministry late. You know, I got into no, I was always into Korn and Slipknot. I didn't get into Deftones, you know, until later. I got into Carcass late. I discovered Down. Well, no, I didn't discover Down late, but I really dove into their discography late. You know, it's just teenage me was so wrapped up in that world that I missed out on a lot of shit.
Fair enough. I didn't have that. I didn't get into the Juggalo world as a teenager because I'm Jay and Shaggy's age. It didn't
Yeah.
exist then.
Right.
You know, so I didn't even find it. It was kind of like past all that, and I actually found it. I knew they existed, and I liked them. They were good. It just wasn't, you know, I was more of a thrasher. I was more of a metalhead. And then
Yeah.
I got with my ex-girlfriend, and she was a Juggalo, and got me listening to more and more and more. And I had a buddy of mine that I was working with that got me listening to more and more and more. And
Yeah.
the rest is history.
Well, I mean, that's how I grew up too. I grew up listening to like rock and metal and shit. And then the first rap that I ever fell in love with was like, I mean, it's a toss up between DMX and Ludacris. You know, and then I was seeing like the Jekyll Brothers shirts and all that kind of shit because it was around that era. Around my school, like one or two kids would have one. And I'd be like, what the fuck is that? Like, that looks super cool. You know? And I seen the Clowns for the first time at ECW. And then I seen them perform for the first time at SummerSlam 98. And then I first heard a song by them on WCW Mayhem, the tape. And I was like, oh, that's what they sound like. You know, they're kind of like I guess I thought they were like a new metal band, something like that, you know. And then a friend of mine, I was in 6th grade, friend of mine, we went on a field trip, and he had a burnt CD that he got from his brother. And he goes, this is an ICP CD. And I listened to it, and it was a burnt copy of Carnival of Carnage. But it wasn't the whole album. It was only like 10 songs. And I listened to it, and it was the funniest fucking thing I'd ever fucking heard. And I was just like, oh my God, like this is what it is, you know, and I listened to the shit out of it. And then I ended up getting one of the Bizarre albums somebody found, I think, on the side of the road. And they gave it to me because it was all scratched up, but it worked. And then from then on, I was just all like, I'm buying this, I'm buying that. You know, even the Joker's cards that I didn't care for, I still bought them.
Yeah, I did the same thing when I got into them finally. I just kind of fell in love with the underground and all of it. You know, and I tell people this, I don't know, I may have said this last time, we may have had this conversation before. Being Jay and Shaggy's age and being from a different, I wasn't inner city.
Right.
I was more like country and suburbs and whatever, but I was also literally dirt poor and I was a metalhead. We were the Juggalos, you know, like the inner city kids. They were the Juggalos. We were the Juggalos before Juggalos even existed because that was just us. Everything about the Juggalo world, that was us.
Well, a lot of people wouldn't remember, but Jay posted one time, I think it was on the ICP site or something like that, but he said that him and Shaggy met Juggalos that didn't even know who they were.
That's fucking funny.
You know? Like there's a lot of shit that they had said back then that people, you know, just make a big deal about now. Like the Juggalo thing, like, oh, you have to know who they are to be one. No, you don't. They said it themselves. You know, when Twisted left or was leaving the first time to form Magic Records, nobody thought that was a bad thing. Everybody applauded it. You know, everybody was for it. So, and then it's just like, what changed? You know?
I don't know. I still am of the mind that people need to quit, especially like them. I mean, they have their reasons and whatever, but when you keep beefing like that, you draw fans in, you you lose fans because you force people to choose sides.
But you know what it is, and people don't want to acknowledge it. It goes back to the thing of you should never mix your personal feelings with business. You know, Jay always said, even in recent interviews, you know, they were our boys. They were our boys. They were our boys. Cool. They were your boys. What were they first and foremost? They were employees.
Yeah.
You know, that right there is what they were. You know, you could have been friends with them fine, but they were employees. And then he got in his feelings because they were going to do this and do that for them, but they wanted their masters. You didn't have to give them their masters if you didn't want, but you did. So what are you mad at them for? They made a business decision. So what? You know, they wanted masters to an album that you weren't even going to sell.
Right.
You know, so what?
Yeah, no,
It's just
it's all ridiculous in the end. It really is.
Yeah, it's just petty shit.
That's exactly how I'm looking. Because I don't know if you caught it, but there was one track on. It was I think it was Yum Yum's Lure, but it might have been Yum Yum Bedlam. Where the first time I heard it, I'm like, I know this. That's a Boondocks beat. And you can hear Shaggy in the background going, I'm taking my shit back. I'm like, fucking really, dude?
Yeah, it's just, That's what a lot of people were saying when that came out. But that was dumb.
Yeah.
You know, it was like when they did the cover of Hungry Like a Wolf. You only did it because Twisted did it, but Twisted did it better than you did it.
I didn't even know they did it. I know Twisted did it, and it was fucking, or it wasn't even just Twisted, it was Jamie, I think.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But it was, and I'm a Duran Duran fan. I grew up in that era, you know?
Right.
They were poppy and whatever, but I was young enough at that point. I had really, really discovered the metal world.
Yeah.
And they were new, you know? They were catchy, they were kind of edgy. They were British, so you know it was good. But yeah, Jamie definitely did it better than probably anybody could have covered it.
Yeah, but they only did it because it was that petty shit. You know, and you know, the only thing that anybody knows is that all of this started. From what I can see, it started because of Young Wicked and Jump Steady's daughter, because they got together.
I didn't know anything about that. I haven't delved that deep into it. When I started delving deep into the underground, it was deep into the underground.
Right.
Bypassed all of that. They don't need any fucking publicity. They're good.
Right. But all it was that those two got together. Okay? Whatever, things happen. They're both adults. He might be a shitty person. Jump might not agree with it. Whatever. She ends up getting pregnant and all this kind of shit. Okay? So for Jump to have an issue with it, I understand that. You know, that's his daughter.
Issue. Don't make it a business thing.
Right, but that's your daughter, you know, and all this shit. You're high ranking in the label, I guess, or whatever. Okay. You know, but you handle that how you think you should. Okay? But and I don't have any brothers or sisters. I don't. I don't know if it's different or what. But to me, Jay can have an issue with it, but it's not Jay's problem. That's his brother's problem. You know? So to me, Jay doesn't have to feel that personally about it. You know, you can let your brother handle that because that is his issue. You know? So that's kind of where that started from what I can tell, because as soon as Magic Ninja hired him, that's kind of when everything started blowing up. And then and then Jay was all like, well, Twisted never liked A and B when they were on the label and blah, blah, blah. And okay, maybe they didn't. But that doesn't mean that, like, shit can't change over time. You know? And then when you look into it more, what does them hiring him have to do with you guys? It has nothing to do with your guys' situation.
Except that they lost A and B. I mean,
right. But I mean, other than that, it's got nothing to do personally with what the fuck you got going on.
No, and I think that's the biggest issue that I've seen, even not knowing any of these backstories. What I've seen, what I have heard, because I've seen clips of Shaggy just losing his shit, going off on fucking Monoxide or something, and not even talking to him, but just like on camera in one of his podcasts or whatever. And I'm like, dude, really? What exactly is the fucking point? At this point, it's the whole reason I don't fuck with Facebook, because it's all fucking drama, religion, and politics. Fuck that. I like Instagram because you can cut all that shit out. For some reason, you can't get rid of it on Facebook, and I don't know why.
The only thing I know is that, like, when it comes to Shaggy is, I'm not saying Shaggy is a yes man, but Shaggy is very, like, he's loyal to friends, you know? And it's kind of, to me, I look at it like, you know, him and Jay are best friends. My best friend helped me get the life that I have right now. So whatever, you know, he has going on, I'm gonna agree with it. You know, and there's a wrestling interview that I can watch. It's on, and Jay gets asked a question about somebody, and Shaggy goes, "Oh, he's a dick," and then Jay goes, "I don't really have a problem with him." And then the host goes, "Well, it sounds like he's got a problem with him." And Shaggy goes, "No, I don't really know him. Jay knows him." And it's like, yeah, okay, you're like loyal to your friend. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's noticeable.
There's something to be said. There's something to be said for that, and it's a good quality. You know, be loyal to your friends. You know, to the people that are loyal to you. But
yeah, but you should also call them out when they're wrong.
Don't let it blind you. There is a such thing as blind faith.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I don't subscribe to pretty much any religion, because every religion, and in politics too, same thing. It's all blind faith. You're putting all your faith in something that you really know nothing about.
Right. Just, you know. But I mean, to me, that whole drama is just stupid. People still bring it up, and it's been like fucking 5 years, 8 years. I don't know.
I have no idea. All this shit went down before I got into the underground. So
I know one story though that I'm interested in is apparently Choir Boy Dank from Swagtooth. Apparently he's starting up a podcast soon, and people are wondering if he's going to talk about what happened between him and Ouija before Ouija got signed to Psychopathic.
Yay, more drama.
Yeah. Well, drama sells.
Unfortunately, I was just going to say that. Unfortunately, you're absolutely right, because Jerry Springer was one of the biggest fucking shows ever, you know? And it was all fucking drama. I don't even know how much it was real or not, but it was all fucking drama. People love drama. It draws them in. I'm not a big drama fan. You won't find that. I mean, we're talking about shit, but we're talking about it like adults. You
Right.
know, this is how the shit really is. We're looking inside from the outside and saying, guys, really? I mean, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
But a lot of people just can't survive without drama.
Yeah, I know, and it's just, I mean, me like if it's something interesting, then I'll read up on it. But I mean, like, I won't engage with it. You know, it's just like the whole twisted ICP thing. Like, the only reason why I followed it is just because it wasn't the fact it was drama. It was the fact that, like, to me, it was stupid, and I was trying to figure out how stupid it was.
Yeah, if there was
And
really a real good reason for it, or
yeah,
if it was just complete bullshit. Because I like
yeah.
these guys, but I mean,
And to me, like, I'm a horrible, like, my curiosity is horrible, like, fucking horrible, to the point where, like, I'm like a person that knows a little bit about a lot of stuff, and I'll, like, drop random shit on people, and they will literally look at me and be like, "Why do you know that? And why the hell do I need to know that?"
a fountain of
And I'm
useless
just like,
knowledge.
but I'm just thinking, like, you don't think that's interesting? Like, come on.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of weird, interesting facts out there. Like, I saw one recently. It was, what was it? It was something to the effect of, I think it was the blue whale has a sphincter that stretches like 3.5 or 4.5 feet or something like that, which is
Yeah,
the second largest asshole in existence next to people who talk on speakerphone in public.
yeah. And speaking of that, did you know that the average human's uh rectum can fit 2.5 full-sized raccoons in it before it takes damage?
I beg to differ. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some damage on the way in. The raccoon.
I'm just saying. Just saying. And that's one of those things. That's one of those things where people are, why do you know that? Well, you don't find that interesting? Like,
Absolutely. As long as you don't know from personal experience, you're good.
no, I don't, and I don't want to. And then I told that
That's
to
like,
somebody, and they asked me the question of how in the hell they found that out. I was like, God damn it, you had to ask me that, so I had to go find out.
that's awesome.
It's just one of those.
I saw a video of something. I've seen it a few times now on Instagram. One of those weird things. In Australia, I guess the spiders are so bad. I've seen videos of people just setting webs on fire, and you don't even realize there's a web there until you look close, and it's spreading all the way across here and down this row of bushes.
Yeah,
Not really burning anything out except the spider webs.
yeah.
But the spiders are that fucking bad that they have to keep doing that shit.
That's what happens when you live on a prison island.
Yeah, I know, right?
You know, that's what you get. Spiders.
Lots of them. Spiders and kangaroos.
Yeah, kangaroos.
I've heard
Kangaroos.
they're assholes.
Yeah, they wait out. They wait out in water, and then once you get close to them, they try to drown you.
Ugh. Yeah, no, fuck all that.
I don't know why, but they do.
Because they're assholes.
Well, yeah, that's true.
You know, I mean, we have assholes in the human world. We have assholes in the animal kingdom too.
Oh yeah,
The
you got
rest
all
of the animal
kinds.
kingdom. But,
Oh yeah, you got all kinds of assholes in the animal kingdom.
some of the most cute and cuddly things. Like I've heard koalas are just little pieces of shit.
Koalas have gonorrhea.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Yeah.
Remind me never to fuck one.
Yeah, almost every koala that you encounter will have gonorrhea.
Great. So we know where the carrier came from.
I can't remember why. I really can't remember why. But I guess it's like a common thing.
Yeah, that's weird. It makes you wonder how humans ended up getting gonorrhea.
I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I don't.
No.
I'm all set. I'm all set with that.
Yeah, or maybe it really doesn't make you wonder, which is kind of more dangerous.
late at night, I'll just wake up out of a dead sleep. Fuck, I gotta find out. I gotta find this out.
Yeah.
And it just turns into one of those things of, oh my god, that is disgusting. I need to tell somebody. I gotta tell somebody that.
But hit me up.
Yeah, I know, right? Did you know?
I got a podcast. I can always use more ammunition.
Here's 20 facts that you didn't know.
Yes. I'm gonna make that a segment on something. I got another one. I don't know if I sent you any of the links or whatever, or if you saw any of the shit I was doing for the porch honkies.
Yeah.
We've only had one episode so far. It was a test run, is what it was, to make sure everything was gonna work right.
Right.
And it came out fine. My buddy Iron Will keeps telling me I need to take it down because it's just kind of embarrassing in spots, and I'm like, I'm gonna keep it up for the moment. But what our plan is we're gonna, when we actually get it going the way we want to, we're gonna start a Patreon, and we're gonna pull episode 0 from YouTube, drop it on the Patreon. If you really want to see the origin of Porch Honkies, the very, very first episode, before there was an episode, you got to pay us.
Right. You should do they do that on Drink Champs. You could do something like that for underground shit. You could have somebody pick between this or that. Like whether it be rappers or albums or or take the first 6 Jokers cards. So you got 6 slots, and you tell them where to put it on their list of 1 through 6. Like what's the best, what's the worst, and they don't know what card is coming next.
Oh,
you do cool shit like that.
Here you go. Where does this one go?
Yeah, but I mean, you could do
one. All right, how about this one? Oh,
well, yeah, but
nope,
shit like that leads to conversation.
It does.
Because then they could elaborate on why it's whatever, and just ideas.
That's definitely a good idea. I might have to use that. We're gonna have to flesh that out a little bit more.
Yeah, or you could even do that like a top 10. Here's 10 psychopathic albums. Where do you rank them on a scale of 1 to 10? And then you just start firing them off. It can be anything that was released on Psychopathic.
Right.
And they'll just and set it up to the point where they can't backtrack. They get to a point and they can switch one, or they can switch 2 of them, but then after that you can't switch anymore. You got to take what you're given.
Oh, give it like a game show shit, like this is your phone call. You got 1 of them.
You can
switch
just
2,
something fun. Just something something fun.
Ah. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about this more.
Just write it. Just write it down, and just get all your serious shit out of the way, and then be like, okay, so for this segment, we're gonna do a this or that. Okay. Because Drink Champs will do that. That's where I got that idea from. And then, of course, they have a thing where, like, if they can't choose, they have to take a shot.
I mean, I can see that. That sounds like fun. That just turned into a drinking game.
Well, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, it's Drink Champs, though, so I guess it's supposed to be.
Yeah. I wouldn't recommend watching that, though. Well, I mean, it's a cool podcast, but I mean, like Nori has a bad habit of like cutting his guests off like a lot, even when he's sober, and the people that they have around him like get super fucking annoying after a while. Like it's like unnecessary clapping and fucking horns that you'd find at fucking basketball games and shit. And yeah, it's
Okay.
some of the episodes I can't watch because it's just too much.
Like small doses.
Yeah. I think the only ones that I watched fully is the one with KRS-One and the ones with Cypress Hill. I think those were the only ones I watched. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was listening to Cypress Hill way back in the day.
Oh yeah, Cypress Hill used to be. Cypress Hill had some good shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Black Sunday.
And they never, and that's the thing too, is that if that's one thing that I can say about ICP that I didn't agree with, is them changing their sound. You notice how they changed their sound? Okay. So my whole thing is like, well, why'd they do that? Well, they probably did it to appeal to the younger audience. Okay. But why didn't Cypress Hill change their sound? Cypress Hill, from what I've heard, Cypress Hill has sounded like Cypress Hill. You know, I listened to the new Ice Cube album. Well, most of it. It sounds like Ice Cube. You know,
As it should.
the new Snoop Dogg album. I mean, it sounded a little bit different than Snoop. It still sounded like Snoop Dogg.
I'm interested to hear. I don't even know if it may be out. I don't think so. I think it was maybe supposed to be the end of this month or maybe next month or something. I'm interested to hear the new Body Count album.
I didn't hear they were coming out with one. Are they coming out with one?
I heard somewhere there was a new, because Ice-T's been like back in the limelight, not just because of NCIS or whatever he was on.
No, I know. Yeah, I know.
He's been
doing a lot of body count
more
shit
about body count recently.
Yeah. I know they came out with an album not that long ago. Maybe that's the one you're thinking of.
Did they? Maybe it's older shit I've been seeing and I wasn't, because I haven't actually looked.
Right.
I always hear about it, see it when I'm doing other shit. It's just like for a few minutes and then shit, I gotta go work. Or I gotta do this, or I gotta do that. Or just keep scrolling because I'm doing no haters shit and I'm reposting this and drop this into a story and talking to this person.
See, so that's why when it comes to like when you were hitting me up about promoting the live stream, it was like, I am, but a lot of what you were seeing me post, I had scheduled to post a week in advance.
Oh.
So what I'm leading up to is that instead of having a hectic schedule like that, like post your shit like a week in advance. Or you can go longer. You can go 2 weeks. You can go a whole month. You know, whatever.
I didn't realize you could set them to go off at a certain time.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. I do that. That's why, like, a lot of the shit that you see post on my Facebook page, like, I'm not posting it right then and there. I had set that up like a week ago.
Huh. Good to know.
Because it gives me time to not worry about it.
Gonna have to look into that because I like to get my promos and shit done. Like, I've got a bunch of the promos already done for the next, I don't know how many guests I've got.
Well, you got a Facebook
done.
You got a Facebook page, right?
Yeah, I don't ever look at it, and I have everything set to post on my Instagram. Automatically goes to my Facebook. The No Haters goes to Sweet Pea's Facebook because we haven't set up a No Haters Facebook yet.
Okay, so if you on your PC, if you switch it from your personal account to your page, on the left side of the screen, there should be a thing for Meta Business Suite. Okay. Click on that, go there, and then I think you'll have to do one or two things on there to link both your Facebook and your Instagram account from the computer. Once you do that, you can upload everything and have it scheduled to post, 5 months down the road and shit like that.
Huh.
But like it'll you can switch between either posting it to Facebook, posting it to Instagram, or posting it to both. So you can schedule reels, posts, and stories.
Huh.
And you can do that, you can sit there, for a weekend and have 2 weeks of posting scheduled. And then the next time you get around to it, you can do it again.
Huh.
It lightens your load, so you're not concentrating on posting something for that day.
Yes, it does. Because a lot of times I forget, or I just don't have the time. Like, all right, I'm going to post this in the morning, and then I hit the ground running, and it's balls to the wall all day, and by the time, like, fuck, I was supposed to do this.
Right.
Okay. Yep.
So like on my page, I post like one reel every day. And then I'll probably make a static post on Facebook probably twice a week. So I'm posting every day to keep my shit active and stuff. But I'm really only making a post twice a week.
Huh.
But it's all done in advance. Like, even most of my stories and stuff, it's all done in advance.
Okay, I'm definitely going to have to look into that. Not going to be tonight, but I'm going to have to look into that.
No, but like it's like tomorrow. Like tomorrow, that's what I'll be doing.
I'll be working tomorrow. The weekends are big days. I took today off because I had to, because there was just too much shit going on. I had she was up early doing last minute stuff because one of the Derby girls that she plays with graduates tomorrow from high school, and her party was today. So we had shit going on last night. We were doing stuff for that, helping them out, trying to get ready for that. She was doing stuff this morning. I had the appointment to get this done around 10 o'clock and get my hairs cut. And then from there, it just went. I got back here for like a half an hour, and then I was off helping again with stuff, last minute things for the party.
Yeah.
And the rest of the last week, really, or two, I've been really preparing for this. I've done promos for other shows that are coming up, but it was mostly just preparing for tonight. Because
Right,
after
right.
2 years, I had to mess with shit, and I had to get in here, and I taught myself some new tricks in StreamYard.
Well, I mean, when I did Yup, I mean, I re-recorded that, I think, in November, I think. And then we shot a video for it, which is coming out Tuesday, like a music video.
Ooh.
And we shot that in February, I think. Or March. No, February. Something like that. Anyway. And then I made the visualizer, the lyric video, all the promo. I still make promo for it. And all that stuff. And then while I was doing that, we did a show that I booked and set up for, did the promo for that, did the set list for that, mixed some Oddity tracks to see what he thought of it. And I mean, like, even now, like, I did a visualizer for another track I did. I'm working on the lyric video for it. I got to upload it tomorrow. I'm always working on my craft.
Well, as it
Even
should. You don't, you stagnate, and you don't go anywhere.
Yeah. I mean, I've had some busy weeks and weekends and stuff like that, but I always make it a point to get something ready so that way I don't have to worry about it.
Right.
Because there was a long time where, like, I was doing group shit and then I was waiting. I did a lot of waiting. And I don't have to wait for anybody anymore. The only person I got to wait for is me. So I make it a point to just do something.
Sorry, hugging my baby.
I have a nice first start. Comes with a built-in vibrator.
Our boys like to do the shoulder thing.
I bet. But I mean that's why, like, you see a lot of promo and stuff from me for my track. Like, you seen I put out a visualizer, and I promoted the fuck out of that for 2 weeks. I put out a lyric video. I promoted that for 2 weeks. I got the music video dropping Tuesday. That'll be another 2 weeks. And then I got the remix track that'll come after that. That'll be another 2 weeks. And then you'll get your next one. And then it starts all over again.
Nice. So you do actually kind of have a plan without having a plan.
Yeah, pretty much. Like that part of it is planned because, and the only reason why is because I have full control over it.
Well, the business part, you kind of have to have a plan. It's the art part that don't bother.
Yeah, well, like, when I said that I don't plan stuff out, I mean, like, I don't plan stuff out that I don't have control over. If I have full control over it, then okay. But if I don't, then no, I don't. I just go with it. See what happens. But I mean, like that's the thing that kind of should separate the people that want to take it seriously and like people that just do it for a hobby. Like if you're not promoting shit like how I'm promoting it, and I'm not saying that it's gonna make you a star right out the gate, but if you're not doing it as hard as I'm doing it, then then don't try to come off like you're a serious person.
I understand. I don't. I promote shit. I mean, I don't promote my own shit anywhere near as hard as I promote everybody else.
Yeah, see, now I used to do that, but I stepped away from doing that in a way, but I do it a little bit here and there because it benefits everybody how I do it. And I don't know if you've seen it, probably not, but did you see that I made 2 Spotify playlists? One was for main artists, and the other one was for artists from New England.
I think so.
Okay.
I remember seeing the main one.
Yeah.
The New England one, maybe not, but I remember seeing the main one.
Right. But the reason why is because if you think about it, you're putting them in a playlist, and I listen to like a lot of music and shit. So I make sure that I make it a point to listen to the artist before I put them on a playlist. But I put them on there, and I'll put my track in there too. So then when I make a post, I tag the people that I put on the list. So the people that follow those people that I tagged should see the post that I made. And it gives them a chance to see me and possibly interact with me. But it also gives the other people's fan bases chances to see them and interact with them.
Right.
So it's like Sloth from Amoebas, like is a friend of mine, and I put him on the list. I make sure that I tag him and his group's page. Their fans will see my post, but they'll also see that I tagged like the Real Young Swag and Tricked Out and all that. So then all their fans see that. So hopefully their fans all go check out everybody else.
That's that whole no haters umbrella I was talking about. That's exactly
Right.
how that works.
So it's almost like people can look at it and be all like, well, you're just trying to bank off of their fan base. Well, yes and no. It's not a guarantee that their fan base will like me, but their fan base will see me, but their fan base will see everybody else too. So not only am I helping me, but I'm helping everybody else.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you can't get mad at that. I'm trying to help everybody.
Unfortunately,
But I'm doing it but I'm doing it in a smart way though, because when I first did the New England one, I always ended it with who should I add next? And then somebody would tell me a name, and then I had somebody asking, well, where's so and so? And it's like, exactly. That's why I'm doing this. So you'll bring somebody up and I'll put them on there, and it's just all part of the interaction of it.
Right.
You tell me who should be on this, and I'll listen, and I'll put them on if I don't know them, and it just goes from there.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think the marketing thing is the thing that I kind of ended up liking, was the marketing side of stuff.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can see that. I do. Like I said, I don't know if you noticed. I don't know how well I was posting it or promoting. I'm trying to. I had a playlist on my YouTube channel, which is actually still there, but it's 2 years old, 3 years old now. I started putting a new one together on the new No Haters channel for the same reason.
Yeah.
But there isn't much on it yet. I couldn't remember, was drawing a blank and trying to do too many things at once. So all right, I know this one, I know this one. Yup is on there. I'm 99.99999% positive I put that on there because Shirefire was one of the first ones that I started following on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. It better be on there, goddammit.
Yes. Absolutely. The cipher may be on there too. I honestly don't remember what I even put on it.
Well, that better be on there too.
Yes, sir.
No, but that stuff, and people don't realize that. That stuff helps.
It does.
You know?
You know,
I had that
every little bit
conversation.
helps.
I had that conversation with somebody earlier because I put them on the main playlist, and they said they appreciated it. And I told them, I was all like, you know, when it comes to Maine especially, we're just a small blip on the radar. So it makes more sense if we all work together rather than just tear each other down. You know, I mean, we as a state, the hip hop scene, I would say, is the equivalent of like being in a small town, you know, outside of a city. You know, people, there really isn't a lot that goes on. You know, people don't know you and stuff like that. So it would make more sense if we all just work together as a unit. It doesn't matter who gets popular and stuff like that first, because we all win in the end.
It's if I get big, I'm taking all my fam with me.
Exactly.
It's just like that, you know. And if somebody else makes it big and they take me with them, fucking awesome. I'm down.
Exactly. The whole
That's the way it
point.
should be, because you know the Juggalo community in particular, but the whole underground, we're supposed to be a family.
Yeah, but I mean, everybody has their own agendas.
Oh, of course.
People get a little taste of money or whatever, and that's what they want.
Well, then they're not in it for the music, and they're not in it for the underground. They're in it for themselves, and
Yeah.
that's not underground. That's not even Juggalo. At least not the way I look at it.
Right. But that's how it is.
Yes, sir. Takes all kinds. Hello, kitty. Well, that seems like a good point for jumping off.
Yes, it does. I've been on here long enough. It's been almost 3 hours.
It has. It's been a long show. It's been fucking awesome, though. It's one of those I don't want it to end, but I got to get up in the morning.
We all, yeah, I know.
I got a lot of shit to do tomorrow because that's what I do. Because my work allows me to do shit. If it's not busy, it allows me to do things in between. And Trinidad's small enough that it doesn't matter. I can go. I'll be gone maybe 20 minutes to a half an hour. Come back here. I'm home for 15, 20 minutes even. I can get shit done here.
Right.
You know, so I can work on promos or whatever the hell I need to do. So my days are always full. Even if I'm not working, I'm working.
Right. Exactly.
And I have furry children that are going to wake me up sometime between 5:30 and 6 wanting breakfast.
That's always fun.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. It's like daddy and me time because that's when I get FaceTime from the boys, and they're most lovable when it's time to feed them.
That's true.
Anyway, it was awesome talking to you, brother. We got to do this again soon. Anything else you want to say? You know, tell people before we jump off.
Just stay up to date with what I got going on because I got a lot of stuff going on, and that after I'm done doing what I'm doing, and my album comes out, and new era should start, and that's when the real fun, interesting shit happens.
Absolutely. If you got anything you want me to put in the description, let me know.
Yeah, don't be
Message
an
me.
asshole. Don't be an asshole in the comments.
Don't be an asshole. All right.
Don't be an asshole in the comments.
Don't be an asshole in the comments. You got that. Tuesday.
No, but I mean, just put whatever. Just you can put my socials and whatever.
Yep. I'm gonna take care of all that in the morning. I'm not.
Well, no, I'm not saying do it right now.
No, you slave driver. Sorry.
I know.
No, I'm kidding. I dropped when I was reposting other stuff like the last episode you were on. It let me put the links to both Shirefire and your personal YouTube in there. So
Yeah.
that's those are in there, and I'll post those in here. When this is done, just so they're there, and then we'll go put something else in there. So keep an eye out. Whenever you watch this, it's Tuesday, May 20th.
17th.
No, when the video drops.
Oh. You see, I wasn't really. Yeah.
Ha!
Yes.
I was paying attention.
I know. So was my wife. She's in here too. She's like, as soon as I said that, she's like, no. It's just like, oh fuck. It was one of those things where like I looked away and then I got thinking about something and then all of a sudden I came back and I was like, oh, the date.
Yeah.
No, anyway, yeah, the video comes out Tuesday. It comes out at like 7:00 at night. And I got it. It'll be a premiere, so hopefully, if everything works right, I might be in the chat for that.
Cool.
So
I will try and be there as well. We're gonna, and so pay attention. Go, subscribe, ring the bell, do what you gotta do, so you're there for that. And see all the new fire coming out, and keep your
my wife filmed it, so it's awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
She filmed the whole thing. Like the first night we filmed it, her hands hurt because it was cold. Yeah, so we put some pain into that goddamn thing.
I've done that. I don't even know where it went. Somebody was helping me filming me through the snow with my shirt off and a bloody machete in my hand, just kind of walking across the fucking field in the snow in Vermont.
I'll tell you what. Here's something, and we can end this here. But I'll tell you this really quick. So way back in the day, it never came out or anything. And I swear I still have the footage on an old laptop of mine. But we were filming a music video for our version of Natural Born Killers. And we were filming it in the back of my parents' house. And people talk about trusting their significant other, right? So here's how much I trust mine. So we were filming. And we were going to film this scene where we had fake blood on us, right? So we made fake blood. Well, it wasn't looking right. So my wife actually took a real fucking knife, a real butcher's knife, put the fake blood on the blade, and was flicking it at us, right? That fucking thing could have came out of her goddamn hand at any point in time and killed any of us.
You're right.
But I stood right there, and it's just like, that's trust.
Yes, sir. I have a cat trying to eat things that he's not supposed to eat. Give me that.
Oh, there you go. Cats are bad.
The stick for the blinds to, open and close them.
Oh, yeah, those things.
Yeah, he decided he wants to. Daddy loves you. Stop being a dick.
I used to sword fight with those things when I was a kid.
Yeah, I think we all did. Until we got our ass beat with them for it. These things hurt.
Well, yeah,
Stop.
they're
Anyway,
flexible.
yes. So, that was awesome. It was good talking to you. Next week, for those of you who are paying attention, not next week, May 31st, 2 weeks, Pain from New England Kings will be here with me. So, stay tuned. Pay attention. Guess that's about it. So,
Subscribe.
yes.
Do the subscribe thing.
Subscribe. Ring the bell. Don't fuck around because you don't want to miss
Yes. Ring that bell.
it. Love y'all. Love y'all. Love y'all. Whoop whoop. And we will see you next time. Bye.